What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about saltwater fishing. Not something that you see very often in the Midwest, as you can probably tell from my videos, that's where I'm from. Like a lot of people in the Midwest, I'll go to Florida for winter break, which is, and Christmas is generally where I'm going. And this is kind of a breakdown on what I usually bring when I'm going there, and kind of like the basics to catch your snapper, snook, redfish, jacks, and your more desirable larger species of fish, the bigger game fish. So in my opinion, the most important thing you can bring is leader line. These fish are not like freshwater fish at all. You're gonna want heavy duty leader line. 30 pound is honestly almost not enough for a lot of these bigger fish out there. Even snook, which don't have sharp teeth per se, they have very sharp gill rakers, or very sharp gill plates that will cut your line like nothing. 40 pound I've had less trouble with it, but it's more of you're gonna have to retie after one or two fish just in general. I know a lot of saltwater guys will go up to 50 or higher, 60 for some really big fish. But if you're just doing inshore stuff from shore, which is what I usually do and a lot of people will do if you're just gonna go saltwater fishing by yourself, that's what you're gonna look for. I like the fluorocarbon. This gold label is nice because it's smaller diameter, so you can still tie a very good FG knot. So this 30 pounds about the same diameter as like a 25 in a normal fluorocarbon. This is just some 40 pound mono. It's cheaper, that is the advantage of mono. And you don't have to get super specific with line when you're fishing saltwater, because a lot of these fish don't see as many baits as your large freshwater lakes. Now, if you're just trying to get bites, I would say something like a Keitech Easy Shiner is probably one of the best baits to do. This is a 2-inch bait. I've caught snapper on it, and you'll catch a lot of weird stuff on it if you're just inshore fishing. I've got that. I would use a little, this is an 1/8 ounce jig head. Right here, it's cut off of a 2-way jig head rig, just like crappie fishing, really. The thing you'll have to worry about is if you do hook a bigger fish with these smaller setups, you'll probably bend out the hook. This is 12 pound test, and I've found that works just fine for some smaller inshore mangrove snappers. Another thing is like a gulp minnow will also work well. Basically crappie fishing, if you bring your crappie fishing gear, you'll catch a lot of the smaller panfish species that are available in Florida or other saltwater areas. Now we're setting it up to the main fish you think of when you're thinking of Florida inshore species. Your snook, tarpon are on the list too, redfish, speckled trout, black drum, and I'll throw Jack Crevalle in there too. And there's a ton of other ones you could probably think of, but those are the main fish you're really thinking of when especially when you're shore fishing. They're your game fish. I like to break these lures into two different categories. You've got your bait fish, such as this Zman DarterZ, which is basically a fluke style bait. Zoom fluke works very well. I like the Zman stuff because you can catch multiple fish on them. Like bass plastics might last one fish and it's toast. I like to put them on. I've got, since it floats, since the Zman plastic floats, I have this Zman hook that they have with some weight on it. That's just to keep it from floating completely. But if you wanted to do a weightless, you could use it as a topwater. I do have this stinger hook on there just to get a little bit better of a hookup ratio. I could probably go without that. Sometimes it ends up hooking them really deep and you have problems with it. Another thing would be a Zman Diezel minnow. Throw that on this Kalen's jig head or whatever other jig head you have. You're gonna wanna have a pretty sturdy hook so you don't bend it out on these larger fish. Because usually I'm doing, like I said, a 40 pound leader, 30 pound to 40 pound leader with, I usually go 30 pound braid, but some people will go up 40, 50 pound braid. And when you get up to those higher lines, you risk bending your hook out. Another thing that's kind of cool for your bait fish pattern would be these already rigged up swim baits, such as the Mulletron from Zman, or this Vudu Mullet, which has a lot of action. They both work really well, especially for snook. I've seen people catch tarpon on them. Trout really love the fluke style baits, and Jack Crevalle will pretty much eat anything, from my experience. Now, something that's more redfish driven or black drum driven would be a shrimp style bait. I like the Vudu Shrimp. That's my personal favorite as a shrimp bait. It really has a lot of action. They're durable. They have a little bit of, same as this Vudu Mullet, they have I don't know if it's Kevlar, on the inside that keeps all the joints together from ripping. Red drum and black drum, generally people are going to be using live bait like shrimp or crab, which live shrimp and crab work very well. It's just a lot of times it's hard, as I'm not being a local, to find good reliable bait shops. So you gotta go and bring baits that are gonna work if you can't find live bait. Another thing that I found important is scent. This is a Procure scent and shrimp. I think scent really does wonders for your bait, especially when you don't have access to live bait. You throw that on, I would throw this on the Vudu Shrimp, the shrimp style, but I mean, obviously you can find different flavors of it, like Panfish is one that I have, and there's some that are like a mullet scent. And this stuff is scent and taste is kind of the deal with these, and I think it just helps them hold on longer. Live bait obviously works no matter what, but again, you have to bring a bucket, you have to keep them alive, it costs extra money. If you can get these lures that'll last multiple trips, if you're going yearly, that's, in my opinion, the best value. And I just like to chase using live bait. I think it's a little bit harder and it's a little bit more fun for me. But that doesn't mean that shrimp doesn't work very well, live shrimp. For a rod and reel, you're just going to use your spinning reel and spinning rod that you can use just your bass setup. I usually go with a medium heavy rod and a 3000 siles reel. If you're just doing your of these smaller lures, if you go up a little bit bigger, some people will, especially if you're throwing big live baits out there, big swim baits out there, you're going to be probably going to want to go up to a heavy spinning rod with a bigger reel, like a 4000 or a 5000 reel. But the main thing you have to remember when you take a freshwater reel, or just any reel out in salt, you're going to want to rinse those reels off, or else you're going to have problems with rust in your reel and you could absolutely destroy your reel. That's why some of the Daiwa reels that have a mag sealed system, or buying a true saltwater reel, will be a little bit better because you have less of a risk of that salt corroding the reel. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different other baits that I have not mentioned, such as your hard baits, your plugs, your top waters, hair jigs, and other stuff like that. But for me, this is what I usually use and have the most success with whenever I go down south saltwater fishing. This is just something that, as a bass fisherman, I can use these baits and they really make sense in my head. A shrimp bait's basically a jig, a crawfish bait if you're bass fishing. Swim baits and flukes are ubiquitous in terms of fishing for bass. So hopefully that gave you guys a little bit of an idea of what you should expect if you go saltwater fishing on your trips down south for winter break. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below if you have any other questions or if you have any other suggestions. So I'll see you guys in the next one.